Jamsin Entertainment.
Hello, welcome to prep work for Captain America Civil War. I know previously I said I'm going to do First Avenger and then Winter Soldier. I decided I'm going to do both of them at the same time. I just watched First Avenger last night, just finished watching Winter Soldier today. Both awesome movies. You might be wondering why the change in location. I'm on vacation right now. Yeah, big smile. I'm on vacation at my family cabin. Yep, Mountain Edition. Captain America, Freedom Edition. Hold up, I'll show you what I mean. Freedom Edition. Gonna hang this up outside.
Spoiler alert, you've been warned.
Captain America, the First Avenger. Starts out with him actually being found in the polar ice caps. Cap. Then it cuts to 1944, where you see a young, small, scrawny Steve Rogers trying to enlist into the military, go fight Nazis. Of course, he doesn't quite see it that way. He just doesn't like bullies, as he says in the movie. He doesn't care who the bully is. He wants to take him down. Just this time happens to be Nazis. So he tries five times to be enlisted. But it's not because of his height or that he's skinny or anything. I mean, the military can always fix that, which they kind of do. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's because he's like asthmatic, probably a number of other things. They show a list on a medical sheet. I don't know, but he has so much heart here. He just wants to go and serve his country, just like all the other men. He doesn't want to collect scraps from metal and stuff like that. He wants to actually fight for his country. Now, one of the things I noticed in First Avenger, I noticed in Civil War's trailer. In Civil War trailer, you see this small bit of fighting between Captain America and Iron Man. And Iron Man says, "Final warning." Imagine Iron Man hands beam shooting out. And Cap's like, "I could do this all day." That comes from First Avenger. First time he says it, he's being bullied in a back alley. He gets back up and the guy says, "You just don't quit, do you?" And he says, "I can do this all day." That's where that came from. I love how they do stuff like that. They go back to the first movie, pluck something like that out and put it in. It shows that he's still the same person, which goes back to First Avenger. He gets noticed by this German scientist that's helping the Americans make super soldiers. And he gets picked by the German scientist because he has such heart. He's so loyal to his country and freedom overall. And he gets chosen to become the subject for the serum that makes him into Captain America. And it's awesome how they take it from like little know-nothing Steve Rogers to all the way to Captain America Civil War. He's still the same person. That's what's so great about Captain America. Other key characters you see in First Avenger is a MI6 spy named Peggy. Tommy Lee Jones plays a colonel. And you see Tony Stark's dad, Howard Stark. They're all part of this great movie. And more importantly, Steve Rogers' best friend, James Buchanan Barnes, also known as Bucky. So at one point in his propaganda tour, he goes over to Germany in an occupied area by the Americans and performs for the soldiers that are there. And he finds out that one of the groups there is the 107th, the group he tried to get into because his father served in World War One in the 107th, and his best friend Bucky also has been serving in the 107th. So he inquires about him. Is he? Where is he? Where is he alive? Is he dead? Is he missing? And he finds the colonel. He asks him the same question, and the colonel says, "I think he was one of the letters I sent out." But since he got a maybe, he's like, "Well, I gotta go find him." And he says, "No, no, but you need to. You are on tour, just not a military tour." But he secretly goes and rescues his friend Bucky with the help of Peggy and Howard Stark. He gets dropped behind enemy lines and frees not only his friend Bucky, but an entire uh, group of American soldiers. So the leader of Hydra is Dr. Johann Schmidt, but his supervillain name is Red Skull. He went under the same treatment that Captain America went under. It's explained in the movie that this serum not only makes you physically stronger, but it makes the bad worse or the good great. So Captain America physically changed from being a 5'4" scrawny man to a 6'2" beefy muscular super soldier. What happened in Johann Smith's case was, I guess somehow it changed his head or the rest of his body into red, and his face resembles a skull now, hence the name Red Skull. Beginning of the movie, he is on the search for the Tesseract, which plays a big part in the first Avengers movie. But back in 1944, he finds it in this old Norse tomb. It's being guarded by the town elder, I presume. It ties in Thor by saying that these people worship Odin. So it ties, again, it's great marketing by Marvel. So they first look in this old Norse Vikings tomb, and they see like a glass version of it. He presses a button, this box comes out, and inside is the Tesseract. And what Johann Schmidt, Red Skull, does is take that to his laboratory, and there's another doctor. I just watched these two movies and I can't remember his name. Both of them together weaponize it and come up with their own super army within the Third Reich. After Captain America rescues all of the American soldiers, it's decided that he'll go back with his own team and take down Hydra. And that's exactly what they do. Unfortunately, along the way, there's this train scene where they're trying to stop in Hydra. And at some point, Bucky picks up the Captain America shield and deflects a Hydra shot. And he gets flung from the train, and he's presumed dead. They have a scene where Captain America mentions that he can't get drunk because of the procedure, because his metabolism moves so fast. But he's trying to get through the fact that his best friend's dead. Move on to the final, where he fights Red Skull. It's an awesome battle that they have, and he escapes, Red Skull, onto his big plane to start his master plan of taking over the world, which is taking out key cities in America. Captain America gets on board with the help of Peggy and the Colonel. They're in this awesome vehicle, Rolls Royce, that they chase down the plane, and Captain America gets on one of the landing gears before it retracts into the plane, He has to fight off some henchmen, and then the final battle, another awesome battle between Red Skull and Captain America. And within that time period, the plane gets completely destroyed with inside, and the Red Skull tries to escape with the Tesseract, and he grabs it by his bare hand, which you can't really do. And it shows what you are led to believe, that he dies. I personally think, because of the way the scene is shown, it opens up the cosmos. I think he gets transported somewhere else. And they've been hiding him like the past 4 or 5 movies or so. Between the next movie that comes out, well, that came out, which is Winter Soldier, the Avengers movies, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it would be really cool if he resurfaced in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I don't know. We'll see. So, the Red Skull dies or gets transported, however you want to interpret it, and Captain America has to stop the plane from crashing into America. And he changes course to the polar ice caps, and that's where he crashes, and it picks up again where he gets unearthed, de-iced, and he wakes up in a hospital room that looks like it's still the 1940s. But he's listening, and the radio's on, and he's listening to a baseball game. And you can see by his expression that he figures something's up, that it can't be right. And a nurse stops in, or an agent stops in, and she asks him, is everything alright? He's like, no, what's going on here? And she says, you just woken up, you need to take it slow, and yada yada. And he said, no, there's something wrong here, the game. I was at that game. There's no way it could possibly go on now. And so he freaks out. He breaks through what he finds to be a set, and he gets through security, and he makes it out into Times Square in New York City, where it's all modern and everything. But it doesn't really dawn on him, because he's I guess he's still waking up, and he just sees Times Square. But Nick Fury's there at the end of it, and Nick Fury is like, going somewhere, soldier, or something along those lines. And he's asking, what's going on? He's like, well, you actually been asleep for the past 70 years or so. You have a lot to catch up on. He's like, what? Take a look around. And he does. And he realizes not what he remembers at all. And it kind of ends there, film. Next, which would be Avengers. But next, the sequel to Captain America First Avenger is Captain America Winter Soldier. Now, the plot behind this is a project called Insight. It takes 3 helicarriers, which you saw in Avengers 1, and what it does is target massive number of people that S.H.I.E.L.D. deems to be a threat. But you find out within the movie that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been compromised decades before by Hydra. So S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually Hydra. And the big bad for Hydra in this one is a character played by Robert Redford. At some point in the movie, you see Nick Fury die. That the quotation mark means he comes back, obviously, because he's in plenty of movies afterwards. And Captain America and Black Widow are running from Hydra. And a new character was brought in, Sam Wilson, I think his name is. I don't know. I need to do better with the characters in this. But his hero name is Falcon. And Robert Redford's henchman is the Winter Soldier, who you find out is actually Bucky. So when he fell from the train, Hydra picks him up, fixes him up, and damage must have been done to his left arm, because now his left arm is completely mechanical, and it has a big red star on it, which is kind of weird because that's a communist symbol, not a Hydra or more specifically a Nazi symbol. But I guess it's explained in the comics. So he's picked up, fixed up, and throughout the years, he's been put into frozen hibernation, and Hydra wakes him up whenever they need him to clean up or cause incidents where Hydra has to step in and be the heroes. Well, heroes. And and it explains how he stays young as well, because he's about a year or so older than Captain America. They don't explain that if he's a super soldier or not. The only super strength he seems to have is within his mechanical arm. And at one point, Captain America and Bucky finally see each other, and Captain America's like, Bucky? And you find out that his memory has been wiped numerous times. Like each time he gets woken up to do a mission, Bucky's memory is wiped just so he can get the mission done without being compromised. But running into Captain America, that kind of screws things over. And Robert Redford's character is like, wipe him again and send him back out. And so the final mission is to get the 3 helicarriers on the same link up, which would be to target each other instead of millions of people. And Bucky is trying to stop them all the entire time, but the final fight is between Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And Captain America keeps on telling him, we're friends. I'm not gonna fight you. I can't fight you. You're my best friend. And Winter Soldier's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Who this Bucky person is? You're not my friend. You're my mission. And they have a fight, and the helicarrier is being blown up by the other helicarriers. And Bucky gets toppled over by debris, and Captain America saves him. But Bucky still doesn't believe him, and he starts beating the Jesus out of him. And Captain America just lets it happen because it's his friend. He reminds him of what Bucky told him decades ago before he was Captain America, and he says, I'm with you to the end. He tells him that, and he kind of stops, and he just lets Captain America fall into the nearby lake or river or something, body of water, and I guess he jumps out as well. And he drags him to shore to safety, and then goes off on his own thing that gets to find out who he is. So it wraps up. SHIELD, Hydra, or at least the Hydra part that we know of so far, has been shut down. SHIELD no longer exists, which sets up for the next movie, Age of Ultron. Nick Fury goes off in his own way to figure out what's going on to try and rebuild what he can. Captain America and Falcon go on their own way, and Black Widow goes on her own way. But before Black Widow leaves, she gives Captain America a file on the Winter Soldier, which explains what happened to Bucky between falling off the train and now. This concludes prep work for Captain America Civil War. Went over Captain America, First Avenger, and Winter Soldier. Looks awesome, Civil War. I can't wait. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people will like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. And stay tuned for prep work on Civil War. I'm not sure which movie I'm doing next. Iron Man or Incredible Hulk. I'm not sure.
Live your imagination.